I'm 79 years old. I have $8 million in the bank. And last Thanksgiving I watched my daughter introduce her stepfather as my dad to her fiancé's parents. I was standing right there. She didn't correct herself, didn't even look at me, just kept talking about how Dad taught her to drive, how Dad helped her through college, how Dad was the first person she called when she got the job offer. 20 minutes of stories, not one of them about me. My son did the same thing at his daughter's baptism 2 years ago. The priest asked about family and David said, "My father's here," pointing to James, his stepfather. James, who married my ex-wife in 1994. James, who was there for every baseball game I missed, every parent-teacher conference I was too busy for. Every Saturday morning I spent at the office instead of at home. I built a software company, sold it in 2003 for $8 million. I retired at 57. I thought I'd finally have time to be a father then. But by that point, my kids didn't need a father anymore. They already had one. And it wasn't me. I'm telling you this because I see men my grandson's age making the same choices I made. Working 80-hour weeks, missing dinners, texting during soccer games, and they say exactly what I used to say. I'm doing this for them. I'm building their future. You're not. You're building your loneliness. I married Patricia in 1968. I was 23, fresh out of MIT, engineering degree in hand. She was 21, working as a secretary, dreaming about a big house and children, and the kind of life her parents never had. We both wanted to climb out of where we came from. My father worked in a steel mill in Pittsburgh, dead by 54. Emphasize. I remember thinking at his funeral, I'm not going to break my back for minimum wage. I'm going to be different. I'm going to build something, provide something real. So, I started my company in 1972. Software for manufacturing systems. Revolutionary stuff back then. Patricia was pregnant with our daughter Emily. I was 27, terrified, determined. I worked 90-hour weeks, weekends, holidays. Patricia would bring me dinner at the office at 8 p.m., 9:00 p.m., sometimes midnight. When things settle down, I tell her, I'll be home more. But things never settled down. In startups, there's always another crisis, another deadline, another investor meeting, another deal that could change everything. I kept thinking, just get through this quarter, this year. Get to profitability, get to the next funding round, then I have time. Our son David was born in 1975. I missed the birth. I was in Chicago meeting with a potential client. Patricia went into labor early. By the time I got to the hospital, he was already 6 hours old. She was sitting there exhausted, holding our son. She didn't say anything when I walked in, just looked at me with this expression I couldn't quite read. Disappointment, maybe, or resignation. I told myself it didn't matter. I'd make it up to them. Once the company took off, I'd be there. That's what I told myself for 20 years. In 1978, Emily was 6. She had her first piano recital. I promised I'd be there. Promised. She practiced for weeks, kept asking, "Daddy, you're coming, right?" And I'd say, "Of course, sweetheart." I wouldn't miss it. But the night of the recital, one of our biggest clients threatened to cancel their contract crisis meeting. I told Patricia to videotape it. I'd watch it later. Emily played her piece, some simple Mozart arrangement. Patricia told me she looked for me in the audience 3 times. The 4th time she just stared at the piano keys and didn't look up again. I watched the tape 2 weeks later, maybe 3 weeks. I don't remember. It was already over by then. That became the pattern. Missing birthday parties because of board meetings. Missing soccer games because of conferences. Missing bedtime stories because I was traveling. Missing Saturday mornings because I was in the office. Emily was 8 when she stopped asking if I'd be there. She just assumed I wouldn't. In 1983, David was 8. Emily was 11. We went to Disney World. I thought it would fix things. Quality time. Make up for all the absences, but I spent half the trip on the phone. Conference calls from the hotel room, faxes from the business center. Patricia took the kids on Space Mountain while I negotiated with vendors. There's a photo from that trip, the four of us in front of Cinderella's castle. Emily and David are smiling at the camera. Patricia smiling too, but her eyes look tired, defeated. I'm smiling the biggest because I thought we were happy. I thought this was working. That's the thing about being absent. You don't realize you're losing them in real time. You think you're building something for them. You think they understand. You think there will be time to fix it later. The company went public in 1986. We made $7 million overnight. I was 41. I thought I'd finally made it. Finally proved I could provide. Give my family everything my father couldn't give us. I bought us a bigger house, a vacation home, new cars, better schools for the kids. But Emily was 14 then. That's the age when daughters need their fathers most. When they're figuring out who they are, when they're looking for validation, for protection, for someone to tell them they're enough just as they are. I wasn't there. I was expanding the business, opening new offices, hiring, scaling. I'd made $7 million, but I was working more than ever because now I had something to lose. Patricia filed for divorce in 1991. I was 46, she was 44. Emily was 19, away at college. David was 16, living at home, angry at everything. Patricia sat me down at the kitchen table. That kitchen table I'd barely sat at in 10 years, and told me she was done. You're a ghost in this house, she said. The kids don't know you. I don't know you. You're just someone who pays for things. I begged her to stay, promised I'd change, cut back hours, be present. But she just looked at me with this sad smile and said, "You've been promising that for 20 years. She was right. I had. The divorce was final in 1992. Patricia got the house, half of everything. I moved into a condo downtown. Emily barely spoke to me. David refused to visit for the first 6 months. I told myself they needed time. They'd come around. Patricia met James in 1993 at a grief support group. She joined after her mother died. James was a widower-hour, high school teacher, basketball coach. His wife had passed from cancer 2 years earlier. He was kind, patient, present, everything I wasn't. They married in 1994. I wasn't invited to the wedding. David was 19 then. Emily was 22. They both stood up in the wedding party. I saw photos. Later. Everyone looked happy. James did all the things I didn't do. He went to David's college basketball games. All of them. He helped Emily move into her first apartment. He was there when David graduated. When Emily got her first real job, when David got engaged, James was the person they called. I was the person who sent checks. I sold the company in 2003 for $8 million. I was 57. Finally had all the time in the world. I called Emily, told her I wanted to see her more, take her to dinner, get to know her adult life. She was 31 then, married, pregnant with her first child. That would be nice, she said. Polite, distant, like talking to an acquaintance. We had lunch once a month, sometimes once every 2 months. The conversations were surface level. Weather, work, safe topics. She never shared anything real, never called just to talk. I was a maintenance obligation, an hour every few weeks with her biological father, who technically still existed. My grandson was born in 2004. Emily asked James to be in the delivery room, not me. James was there when she went into labor. James held the baby in those first hours. I got a text message with a photo 6 hours later. Baby arrived. Everyone healthy. I showed up at the hospital with flowers. Emily was polite. Let me hold the baby for 5 minutes. Then she handed him back and said she was tired. James was in the corner looking comfortable like he belonged there. I was the intruder. David's daughter was born in 2008. Same pattern. James in the delivery room. Me getting a phone call afterward. At her baptism 2 years later, the priest asked David about family. David pointed to James and said, My father's here. Then pointed to me. And that's Frank. Not Dad, not father. Frank. I stood there holding my granddaughter, watching my son refer to another man as his father. And I realized I haven't been their dad in 30 years. I've been a name on birthday cards, a signature on checks, a person who exists in their family tree but not in their actual lives. He is what took me 79 years to learn. Money doesn't make you a father. Presence does. I gave my kids everything except myself. I paid for their education but missed their graduations. I bought them cars but wasn't there to teach them to drive. I funded their weddings, but they didn't want me to walk them down the aisle. Emily asked James. David had Patricia walk with him. I thought providing was the same as loving. It's not. James never made $8 million. He made a teacher's salary, drove a 12-year-old Honda, lived in a modest house, but he showed up. He was there for every scraped knee, every bad grade, every breakup, every celebration, every ordinary Tuesday night. He didn't give them money. He gave them himself, and they call him dead. I see men today making the same mistakes. I see them in airports, on their phones, barking into headsets, missing flights home. I see them at restaurants, checking emails during family dinner. I see them at their kids' games, standing on the sidelines, but mentally in the office. They're building empires, building net worth, building resumes, and they're telling themselves the same lie I told myself. I'm doing this for them. But your kids don't want your money. They want your time, your attention, your presence. They want you to know their friends' names, their teachers' names, their favorite songs, their fears, their dreams. They want you to be there when they wake up from nightmares, when they struggle with homework, when they score their first goal or miss their first shot or get their heart broken for the first time. They want you to see them, not just provide for them. I missed all of that. I outsourced fatherhood to my wife, then to their stepfather. And now at 79, I have $8 million, and no one who really knows me. No one who calls just to talk. No one who wants my advice. No one who shares their real life with me. Patricia died last year. Cancer. Emily called to tell me. I thought you should know, she said. James was with her when she passed, holding her hand. The kids were there. I wasn't invited. I found out 3 days after the funeral. We didn't think you'd want to come, David said when I asked why no one told me. You and Mom weren't close. He was right. We weren't. But there was a time when we were. There was a time when I loved him more than anything. Before I loved the company more. Before I loved the success more. Before I loved the idea of financial security more than the reality of human connection. If you're 30 years old right now, working 70-hour weeks, missing dinners, telling yourself just a few more years, listen to me. Those few years will turn into 10 years, then 20, then a lifetime, and one day you'll be my age, sitting alone in a condo you barely live in, realizing you spend your whole life building things instead of relationships. Your company will replace you in 30 seconds. Your kids won't. Close your laptop. Go home. Have dinner with your family. Not while checking your phone. Actually, have dinner. Listen to your kids talk about their day. The boring parts, the silly parts, the parts that seem meaningless. Those are the parts that matter. Go to the soccer game, the recital, the parent-teacher conference, the birthday party. Don't send your wife with a camera. Be there yourself. Be present. Put your phone away. Watch your child. Let them see you watching them. When your kid asks you to play, play. Don't say in a minute, and then never follow up. Don't say this weekend. When you know you'll be working, say yes right now. The dishes can wait. The emails can wait. Your childhood doesn't wait. You think you have time. You don't. Emily is 56 now. David is 53. They're polite to me. They invite me to holiday dinners, because it's the right thing to do. But I'm not really family. I'm an obligation, a cordial stranger who happens to share their DNA. I would give every dollar of that $8 million to go back to 1978 and choose differently. To walk away from that client meeting and go to Emily's piano recital. To tell the investors to wait and go to David's baseball games. To be home for bedtime stories. To be present for the 1,000 tiny moments that add up to a childhood. But I can't go back. And neither can you once these years are gone. So here's what I'm asking you. Put your phone down right now. Right this second. Go find your kids. Hug them. Play with them. Talk to them. Ask them about their day and actually listen to the answer. If you found this message helpful, subscribe. I share these stories because I don't want you to end up like me. 79 years old, $8 million, and nobody to share it with. Leave a comment telling me, what moment did you almost miss? This week, what did you choose instead? I want to know if this is reaching people. If anyone's actually listening and if this story resonated with you, if you felt it in your chest, that moment of recognition or fear, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Not because I need views, but because some father out there is making the same choice I made 40 years ago. And maybe, just maybe, this will be the thing that makes him choose differently. I'm 79 years old. I made $8 million. And my kids call someone else dad. Don't let that be your story.